on, brother? Thanks for being
Hey,
here.
what's up?
Hey, how are you?
That's a great intro. I love you guys' intro. It's beautiful. It
Appreciate that.
sets the tone. It really like gets you like ready to watch something inspiring.
Yeah.
I hope I can live up to you guys' past guests and such. So thanks for
Oh,
having me on. I appreciate
you're
you both.
welcome. You're welcome. No problem. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's times I'm nervous when I have guests come on, and then other times I'm like real chill because I know them well enough to just hold conversation like we're two people. With you, I'm kind of in the middle because I like listening to you, and you're very inspirational, motivational, and you have some really good things that intrigue your deep thoughts, is what I call them. But at the same time, you're completely relatable as well on so many different levels. So I was a little bit nervous today to talk to you. And then once we brought you on, I think I'm good to go now. So
He's just a lovable teddy bear. Right?
Yeah. He's Rex.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, he's like a complete badass. But
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it, Rob. And,
well, I just have a few questions. First off, I just want you to explain to our listeners a little bit about your previous history and how all of that brought you to the level you're at now with MF coaching and bad coach Rex, all of that jazz.
Oh, so that's a huge request, Amanda, because
can you do it in like a long story short?
you want the elevator version? Okay.
Yeah, the elevator music version.
So there was a mommy cat and a daddy cat, and then they get together. And no, you don't want that version. Okay. So yeah, so no shit, there I was. Getting in the military, right? I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, right? I was like, okay. I was grown up like most people, just middle of the road. You know, my parents, okay, upbringing was great. Everything's cool. My dad was in the Air Force, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing. So, you know, I'll leave like some sort of a legacy, the same that he did. So I joined the Air Force, and I was in the military for about 18 years. Man, it was ups and there was downs. Horrible transition. You know, deployments in Afghanistan and Iraq, and lots of turmoil, lots of stress, lots of PTSD going on. And there was a lot of that that I saw, that I went through, a lot of things I've seen, you know, failed marriages, you know, two. You can laugh about it now because we're all better now. Okay, so but yeah, that kind of adds to the struggle, right? Especially when you're in the military and after you've come back from a deployment. And yeah, it sucks, man, when you get that news, you know, that it's time to break things off. It's time to like go your separate ways, you know. Mm-hmm. And then your ex is like trying to take your kid to a different state, and it's like, man. And then your commander is like trying to redeploy you back to Iraq, and it's like, wait, hold on a second, can we just like hit the pause button, you know? So yeah, dealing with kind of all that, and then later towards the end of my career, that didn't end so well. I was a medically retired, you know, so that didn't end like as lovely as I wanted it to be. You know, I wanted the fucking birthday cake. You know what I mean? I wanted the stars and stripes. I wanted to say goodbye to my, you know, my mentors and my subordinates, you know, in a traditional way. And I didn't get that. You know, it was more like, hey, you're out. No longer fit to lead, so you're out. And it's like, well, that sucks. You know,
how often does that happen?
More often than you would think.
Yeah.
Especially from what I do now. So that kind of led to what I'm doing now, which is, I don't know if you can see, MF coaching. And it stands for not what you think it does.
I did think that at first.
Exactly. But I did that for a reason, right? That's a branding thing, a marketing thing. I thought, you know what? Let's come up with something that is not only going to stick with the individual who's looking at it, but something that also has meaning. And so after I got out, and there's a journey there as well, long journey, because I got in 2018, and we just formed Mission Focus Coaching this year, or just excuse me, last year. We're in 2026 now.
I'm still doing that too. It's
yes. So there is a journey that we can talk if you want about that journey between when I got out till up until now. But now I've got my ducks in a row, right? I'm a coach now, and I've been through the turmoil, I've been through the struggle, and now I'm just kind of helping those veterans that are going through that same horrible transition or that non-traditional transition to get them on the right track to get back what they lost. So that's the elevator version.
Well, and if you want to plug your own podcast right now, you can.
Okay, so I like to consider that as an outlet more. I'm not a podcaster. You know, I don't consider myself a podcaster. I consider myself a coach who's really just on a mission to master himself. I'm trying to master all aspects of myself, you know, when it comes to the pyramid, right? Mental, spiritual, physical. And I've been on a journey to try and master that. So under the umbrella of mastering yourself, I started Bad Coach Rex. And that's the brand. Underneath that is MF Coaching. That is my nonprofit that I started just this past year. So yes, I use that as an outlet to try and reach as many people as I can, whether it comes to my journey of self-mastery, whether it comes to other coaches on a show I do called The Coach Approach. And I do some other shows when we talk about masculinity. I call it modern masculinity because I feel that there are some things that were no longer necessary that men used to do. And there are some things that we should pull from, from the traditional masculinity. And I've combined that together into what's called modern masculinity, because there are some things now that are different, right?
Sure.
There's a pendulum and it's different now, right? Women and men, we're kind of doing the same, we have the same roles. And that's kind of difficult to navigate for some men. So I kind of help them, first of all, understand what masculinity really is and how we can modernize that to be useful for both men and women in today's society. So I do a show called.
Can you give? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Can you give us an example of something that was considered masculine or manly to do in the past that you think is kind of outdated? Just for a baseline.
So I think it would be, if you don't mind, I think it would be much easier for me to define it. And once we start reframing and defining it, it's easier for us to start discussing moving forward. So when we use a term like masculinity, especially in this society today, we start automatically thinking something that's poisonous. We start thinking of something that's negative. It's because it's marketing. People have done that. They've thrown masculinity in with the bad. And now it's like, well, shit, every time I say something about it, it's, oh, okay, you're going to say something, poisonous and about masculinity. It's like, no. So I thought to myself, let's go ahead and reframe masculinity, because really, if we really boil it all the way down to its fucking core, masculinity and femininity. Masculinity is when you need to be strong, and femininity is when you need to be soft. Now, if we can think about those terms in any connection we have with people, with our relationships, professional or romantic, or with our children, or with anything, you understand that. You understand when you need to be soft and when you need to be strong. So, and this also takes the man and the woman out of the equation and brings it into everyone. It welcomes everybody, because now women need to be strong and men need to be soft, right? Yeah. So when we frame it like that, now if you start asking other types of questions, oh, what do you think masculine is? Well, when is there a time that I need to be soft with my partner? When I need to listen, when I need to ask questions, when I need to release, when I need to, be there for them, when I need to deliver time.
That compassionate, empathetic side.
Right.
People, and you hear it all the time. There's men that will say they'll cry, or at one point, men in society thought that crying was a form of weakness, and now there's men that are saying, well, I'm okay and I'm safe in my sexuality, and so I don't have a problem crying or crying in front of women or crying in front of men. It doesn't make me look weak or soft. It makes me look like I care and like I'm a compassionate individual, and I can relate to the female that I'm in a relationship with, or relate to females around me. I think that this whole thing of people trying to figure out, like we talked about today, identity, what their identity is and who they are as an individual is huge. That was actually one of my things that I wanted to ask you about. I wanted to ask you, most people want success without identity. So why do you think that disconnect is so common?
Success and identity? Because success is usually tied to the roles that they're playing. And a role is just a role. A role is temporary, and their identity is something that's supposed to be factual, something that's supposed to be who they are, not their role. Like for your job, for example. Well, we'll take the job and the relationship. Those are so common in today's society. We become our job. And I did the same thing. I was my job. I was the job, man. I'm the one that you come to get shit done. And that's what I was, known for. And I would do the same things. And I'm not coming from a place of like my high horse. I've been there, and I understand this. I did it. I was like, I'm my job. That's who I am. That's a part of my identity. And you get it tied so close to who we are, to our identity, that when we lose it, we are lost. And now we become fucking lost. And that's part of what I deal with our veterans, because we identify with the military because we're in it for so long. And we think that the military is a part of who we are. It's not. It's how you showed up. Okay. I've met a lot, and I don't care. I'm I'm going to show you real quickly why I'm called Bad Coach Rex. It's not because I'm an asshole. It's because I tell you how it is. Okay.
Yep.
I'm very honest and upfront about everything. So yeah, I have, when we talk about like, oh, our heroes and such. Okay. Copy that. But you know what? I was also stationed with a bunch of losers, a bunch of assholes,
right,
and a bunch of people that only thought of themselves. So no, not every veteran is a hero. Not every veteran is sacrificing their life, their time, maybe because they have to. They're made to. Okay. But the real veteran are the ones that I served with. They're the ones that would have done that fucking job for free, right? They're the ones that would have showed up. They're the ones that showed up, and how they showed up was their identity. They showed up right with their stripes on proudly. I'm proud to wear this uniform. They showed up with compassion, with masculinity. They showed up for everyone else. They were here to do the job. They weren't here for, and you can tell these types of people are going to be that way in the military and outside of the military, right? Mm-hmm. You know them. We all work with these types of people. Mm-hmm. We complain about them all the time, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, why is this fucking guy, getting paid the same as me? I'm here doing all this work and they're not doing shit. And we're getting paid the same, right? These are the people we love to complain about because it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, we tie our identity with our jobs. Our job is a role. It's just a role, but it's how you show up is what is your identity, right? Did you show up early? Did you give everything? Did you give everything that you possibly could? Did you show up for Sally? Was she there? Did you take a spot for her because she couldn't show up? That is a part of your identity, not the title, right? Not the manager.
Yeah. Well, and I know people that they think if they get demoted, or it's not really a demotion, it's just your job title changes. Or if they start making less, then they think they're less than, and they're not worth the same amount that they were before. They're not worthy of having that title anymore. And then I have people that they go to a job and they start making more and they get the title and then it goes to their head. But at the soul entirety of it, whatever work ethic or whatever personality traits or whatever you're bringing to the forefront as an employee or an employer is who you are at heart. So that's really like what you're saying. That's your identity. The job title and the amount of money you make is not your identity. That doesn't make up for who you are. Right. The people that I know, people that they think because they're making less or they have a job title that's different, that they're all of a sudden they're not worth anything. And now their whole life is screwed and they're not going to go anywhere ever again because now they're just going to stay stagnant where they're at. And it's like, you have to have your own determination and willpower to actually rise above that and think differently about it. It's like, okay, well, you might be, for me, I work in retail. So with my job, I don't really have anywhere to go up the ladder or the food chain per se. The only thing that I can bring to my company is try to make my company's name better by doing a good job and putting who I am at the forefront of the job that I do, which is having good work ethic, following through with my tasks and what I'm supposed to do, present myself accordingly to represent the company well. Those are the things that people need to focus on. I think we get so focused on titles and labels. And I mean, look at our country now. I identify as blah, blah, blah. Like we're so focused on, do you identify as a male, a female?
When did that shit start? Like I identify as a toaster.
I don't understand.
Who gives a shit, right? Like you do you, boo.
5 years ago, I would have never, ever, ever pictured any of the stuff that we are seeing right now happening ever. So I don't know.
And you were lucky to kind of get out of the military before that shit hit, like around 2020, 2021, because I can't imagine what you would have done.
Oh my gosh!
Last 4 years in the military, like
I would have gotten kicked out. I would have gotten kicked out earlier.
Right, dude?
Your filter would not be working. It would be a broken filter.
Yeah, I mean, but that was my whole. That was like, I think, you're right. It would not have been pretty because my whole career, even before the military, it's just that is a part of. I think a part of my identity is always challenging. I'm always challenging because not for the sake of challenging, but when I see something. Right, fucking see something, say something, right? This is how we're supposed to be brought up. And when you do say something, it's like, shut up. This is the way it's always been. Wait, what? Yeah. You just said see something, say something. Now you're telling me once I act up and say something about it, you're like, no, that's just the way we've always done it. Well, then what is it, man? You want to say something or not? And this is why most of us get, quashed and you're like, oh, shut up. Whistleblowers are like, shut up. They get, hammered because you're trying to say something. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing, man. I was always like the one on the fence because my bosses would always tell me, Rex, you're always like fighting the waves. And I'm like, I know, man, because I know a better way to do this. This is an easier way. Why are we doing it this way? Oh, because
work smarter, not harder.
Right, man. You don't even know what that means. You just say it. It's just a fucking buzzword. Stop with the buzzwords. Do it. Yeah. Action. I am such a man of action. That is my whole philosophy. Is action. Do it.
Well,
and having integrity as well, right?
Yeah. Integrity. That's a whole nother show, man.
That's a different subject. But I've been saying lately too, like there's conversations we've had in our household here that a lot of people are going on social media and doing these reels, whether they be podcasters or influencers or whatever they are, digital creators, and everybody's doing a lot of this. And they want to talk and they have all the answers and they know what our country should do and they know everything, but they're not doing anything. They're just talking.
Everyone's talking.
They're literally talking and blowing smoke up everybody's asses and making people decide. I watched a reel the other day with my boyfriend. I think his name is Dan Bongino.
But your boyfriend? You think your boyfriend's name is Dan Bongino?
No. I was watching a reel with my boyfriend. And the podcaster's name or whatever his name is Dan Bongino. No,
okay.
Dan Bongino's married. But anyways, he had a reel that he did, and he was talking about how Americans they're having to choose sides. Like it's literally coming to everyone's homes where you're being forced to choose a side now. And for me, I've always been independent. I believe what I believe, and I don't really take sides. And so some of the stuff that I'm seeing out there and hearing, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around. It's not that I'm burying my head in the sand at all. I have my beliefs. I'm just not going to be one that's going to go on social media and talk and do all this talking with nothing to back it up. Like that doesn't, I don't know, like people have points, but they're not really like, I always say you're one person. Do you think you as one person, the entire infrastructure of the US of A is going to listen to you and what you have to say and that's going to be the fix? Like, that's why I have a hard time listening to some of these reels.
Damn right. They should listen to me. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know everything.
No, I mean, I do. I'm a facts-based person. Like, I will go down the rabbit hole until I'm up like Mel Gibson rocking in the corner in conspiracy theory. Like, I can't believe they're actually doing this to us. That's me. But I get in trouble online, especially Facebook. Just like I said earlier, arguing with idiots because there's so many stupid people out there.
You're feeding into it. That's what's happening.
I know. And my wife's like, just stop. My wife's like, what do you get out of this? I'm like, I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth seeker. I'm trying to teach the masses.
Let me point out something. Do you know that half the people that comment on this shit out there, they're trolls?
No, I know.
If you click on their profile, they don't even have any friends. And the friends they do have are fake too. Like,
it's true.
They're not, they don't even, it's the whole thing. But anyways, aside from that, we could go on about that all day. Right. Rex, working alongside this, I'm really interested about this with you. Working alongside the SEALs, Rangers, and intelligence agencies, what separates the elite mentally from everyone else?
The elite mentally from everyone else. Oh, man.
It takes a special type of breed to be special forces, right, Rex?
Yeah, but I want to know what separates them. Like we watch the movies and stuff, but that's not realistic sometimes.
Right. So if I had to, let's say if I had to bring this into today's world, what we live in today, like the world that you live in retail. We've all had bosses, right? We've all had bosses that kind of just were like whatever, right? Whatever. They show up, then they go home. You do whatever, and then they don't really care. They don't really give a shit.
Right.
You don't really have that leadership. You don't have that top cover. You don't have that person who's going to be by your side, who's going to stand up for you, who's going to help you up, who's going to support you, right? With your, what we call them objectives, right? And then what we call them in the civilian world is what our goals are. These are our goals. You don't have anyone to support you in your goals at work, right? In the military, we have our objectives, and we have a whole fucking team of people that have the same objective. So we're all headed towards the same direction. We're all in the same tribe. We all have something very important to lose, right? Quantitatively, in the military, it's our lives. And over here, it's your job. And that could be your life too. Okay, kids. You lose your money, you lose your income, you lose your source to feed yourself and your family. So it's kind of, So in the military, we're all together. We all band together. One tribe, one mission, one focus, one purpose. We all know that. We all have our leadership that usually is they're going to, when we win, they win, right? In the civilian world, it doesn't work that way. When you win, they win. When you lose, you lose. They're not going to fucking lose.
It's true.
They're worried about this. They got their money going still for them. So
in the civilian world, the house always wins. Okay.
Yep.
And that's not how it is in the military. So when you already have the game is set up that way, then you're set up for success, right? We are all set up as a team. We're ready to rock and roll. So, but there's always still course corrections you got to make. You know what I mean? We all have our good days and our bad days when we sometimes we show up and sometimes we don't feel like showing up. and if you have the right management, the right leadership in the military, they're going to make sure you show up, right? Because they're going to let you know, hey, if you don't bring your A game, you're the weak link in the chain. You remember the 300, the movie, the 300?
Mm-hmm.
And there's that one fucked up dude. He's all retarded and shit. Yeah. Right? Like one guy. Okay. That's exactly it. But they told him the real shit. They were like, hey, guy, you're all fucked up. Look, you can't even, I'm not saying this because you're ugly. I'm saying this because you can't perform, man. Right. We need to all perform at this level. You can't. So you're out. You're out of the band. You're done. Yeah, that's mean. But if we cannot perform and, complete the objectives together, then we all die. Mm-hmm. So, what separates, I think, in the most equal form, military and civilian life is the people in the military are going to be at that level where it's like, hey, guy, girl, you've got to perform. If you're not performing, you're out. You're done,
Uh-oh, what happened?
Rut-row. Hold on a second. I should be coming back. It's preparing. I don't know.
Damn it, Rex. I thought you were pro, dude.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you, but we can't see you.
It's working. It looks like it's telling me it's hold on. Skadoosh.
Uh-oh. Now we're like full frontal vision of Rex.
Yeah. Hold on.
I kind of like that because you got the bad coach like right in the corner there. Can't miss it.
Really? Okay. Yep. I don't know. My other camera doesn't want to show up today.
Straight front and center. You're good. And sorry for, I usually don't drink water on the show, but I have an itchy throat. I don't know if it's.
I'm drinking tea and honey.
Hopefully I'm not getting sick, but.
Do y'all live in the same area?
No.
I live in Idaho. I live in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. She lives in Idaho.
Yeah, and I live in Idaho. And you're in Texas.
Yes. I'll just bring you over here then. Screw it. That's my other camera.
Is Texas, are you guys going to lose Texas in the next 10 years?
Lose it? Like how?
With not only people coming in from California, but you have a giant Muslim population now. Like,
you mean lose it like from red to lose it? Yeah. I don't keep track of that. I'll just move if I don't like it.
Right. Sure. I mean, that's the best answer. I mean, hey, you're honest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So pardon the interruption. I apologize, but I think
fine.
For me, that's the biggest difference for me is for us to see that difference in the military is that we have a team, we're working together for the same objectives, and that's already right there. In the civilian side, it's not like that. It's cutthroat. Right? Maybe there's a team. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you don't, and you're not the house will always win on the civilian side. And those are the differences. We're set up, and we're there to help each other perform. Where in the civilian side, it's not like that. So the difference is really it's in the team. It's in the person to the left and to the right of you, because you can't do it all together on your own. Anybody here play Call of Duty?
My boyfriend does, and I watch him when he plays, and it's
okay.
Entertaining.
This is the difference right here. You ever been on a team where you don't select the team, right? The computer selects the team, and you're killing it, dude, and everyone else sucks. You still lose. All right. Your game, you still lose. That's the difference. In the military, everyone's on the same team. We all know what we're going to do, where we're going to be placed, and all that shit. Where when the computer sets it up, it's like the civilian life. It's like, okay, I'm on my own now. Here we go.
Call of Duty no more, because the bots are heavily taking over that game to where there's nights where I hear the controller getting thrown. So it's entertaining.
That's why we can't have nice things, right?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I put it in a glass cage pretty soon, or a plastic, one of those poppable like bubble cages or something. How did operating in high stakes environments reshape how you see fear and decision making?
So it's we get put in these different scenarios that are going to determine quite possibly somebody's life, right? And when you're in charge of somebody's life, it changes your mentality. It changes the stakes for yourself as well. It's like, oh shit, I have somebody else's life in your hands. But that's you can learn that also in the moment where you can screw up. You can be in the military, you can screw up, and then you learn that lesson. I can share with you a quick story. So I was no shit, there I was in Korea. I was deployed out there. Great time. We had some pretty realistic exercises out there, and I was intelligence at that time. So we were pretending, right? This is what an exercise is. We're all pretending, but we all still show up as if this is a real thing, right? We've got real F-16s. They're doing real sorties that we've all developed, and we've got the whole crew together, and we're walking through the scenarios, and we're playing it out like if it's real. So there I was, doing some intel, and at that time, at that station, the mission there was North Korea. What are their capabilities, right? What can they do? What are some weak spots? How can we get in? How can we get out? So that's what I would do. I would brief the the fighter pilots, like, hey, okay, so you're gonna enter this way, come in, drop bombs, and exit this way. If something happens, eject, release, we'll pick you up over here. Kind of like that kind of stuff. Oh, also, by the way, be careful for these surface to air missile like stations, because if you get within those ranges, then you're fucked. Okay, cool. So here's the lesson. So I go to my commander at the time. She's okay, hey, how did it how's it going? Did you send our guys up? And they're like, yeah, send them up and send them through here, and we're good to go. And this is where you learn a really good lesson in should I, and everyone goes through this, right? Should I bullshit? Should I lie? Remember we talked about this, Amanda?
We talked about this, yep.
Should I lie? And hopefully I get through it. And if I get through it, because why did we lie? Most of us, not the habitual liars, but in a moment of stress, sometimes we lie because we don't want people to see that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We don't like to be seen that way. So, you know what? In that moment, it's like she asked me, "Hey, how was the sortie go? Did you send him this way? This way?" I said, "Yeah, I sent him this way." And she's like, "What are the capabilities of?" She knew what the fuck she was talking about. She'd done this a whole bunch of times. It was my first out there, and she's like, "You sent him through here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And did you tell him about this? It's air defense thing. And it's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." Right there, right? You fucking liar! You're a liar. You lied. I was like, "What? What do you mean?" She's like, look. She's like, and I wasn't laughing at that moment. I'm laughing now because I can laugh about it. It's a great moment in my life because I've got my commander who's about to chew my ass and make me feel that mistake, which was, you sent him through here. The capabilities of this, he would have just gotten shot down. You just killed your pilot. You killed him. He's dead. He's dead now. You did that because you decided to bullshit your way through this. God dang it, man. I felt like shit. I felt so horrible at that moment. I was like, now you know the importance. And now that I went through that, and in my life, now I understand when you see these movies and they're like, we got bad intel. Remember that? Remember that line? Yeah, we got bad. Yeah, you do get bad intel sometimes, because sometimes the motherfucker's like, sure, like go for it. Right. And that's, that's intel. An intel could just be a fucking guy, could be an airman who is in like a couple of years, and they're the specialist, right? They're like, okay, hey guy, what do we do? And he's like, okay, do this,
try this,
right? Try. They're like, are you sure? Yeah, okay, to go for it. And at that moment, you're either the best or you're making up shit, right?
Yeah.
I learned that. I learned that the hard way. Like that is a big no, Rex. It's huge no. Don't do that. So then, at that moment, I decided this was like my very first intelligence assignment. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm no longer going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy that everyone fucking knows about, like that everyone can depend on, that can come to for top notch, like A+, like intelligence. And then I got sent to Iraq, or no, Afghanistan, excuse me. And that's when they asked for me by name. I was like, okay. Yeah. They're like, hey, this is, when SEAL Team 6, comes, they're kind of like the movie stars of the military, right? So then they come up and they're like, hey, who's this? Where's this Rex guy? We're going into this area. We heard he was the guy. So we need him to, talk to us how to get in, how to get out. And when they ask for you by name, now you know. Now you know.
You made a name for yourself.
Yeah, you've done it. So, but you have to learn. You have to learn those tough lessons.
No, you do. You need to learn humility, and you need to know that mistakes are the mother of all learning, right? And it's just repetition after rep after rep after rep, and eventually you'll get it. Or you're just not good enough to do it to begin with, and you should be done. You should be doing something else. Yeah. That's where a lot of people fail, because they're put in a position to fail because maybe they're not qualified to do that particular job or assignment. And they don't speak out about it, and they know they're over their head and they're fucked, but they don't say anything about it. That's what really gets you in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. So Rex, how do you help someone separate who they are from who they've been performing as then?
From who they are, from who they've been performing. Can you dissect that question for me real quick?
So you have people that they know who they are, the baseline of who they are, and they're around certain people and they can be themselves. But they're also the type of person, they will only be themselves with a very, very small portion of people, maybe one person or two people. I, for myself, can say I can chameleonize myself to hang out with any type of group I want, because I will become relatable to any type of group. It's not that I'm performing as someone that I'm not. It's just that I've experienced enough in my lifetime that I know who I am as a baseline. But there are people that know who they are as a baseline, but they will let very few in to see the real them. So they're always on performance mode. They're always performing to give their audience curtail to who they want them to think they are. Narcissists have a very noted behavior pattern of doing this, where they are one person in front of people outside of their home and they're a different person inside their home. And they do not want people to see the real them, because then they may become criticized or judged, or people may think that they are being fake or unruly. So I've been thinking a lot about this subject in particular lately, where people know who they are, or they're still trying to figure out who they are. I can say for myself, I didn't really come to a realization of who I was until my mid 30s. And then when I turned 40, something clicked and I became more self-aware, self-cognizant of my decision making and my actions and my choices. I found a little bit more self-love and self-worth than I'd ever had before. And that can be intimidating to some people that are not at that level yet, especially this younger generation in their 20s and 30s. So I find a lot of people that I come in contact with, they're constantly in performance mode. They're constantly performing for the audience that's around them instead of being themselves. So they never really feel like they have a genuine circle of friends or a genuine support system, because they don't even know themselves who they really are, because they're always performing. So I didn't know if you have a way of maybe some insight on how somebody that may be experiencing that could separate the two to live a more prosperous, truthful and healthy life for themselves. Because once you, I can say for myself, once you, free that portion of thinking that you have to always be on performance mode for other people, or you always have to be impressing or get other people's validation or approval. Once you let that go and you realize your own worth and who you are as a person and what you bring to the table and who you're going to allow to have a seat at your table, it is so freeing. And it's a huge weight lifted off your shoulders, because then you know that the people that are in your circle are meant to be in your circle, because you invited them there based off who you are and what you want in your life. But I know people that want everybody in their life. They want everybody to accept them. They want everybody to like them. And they will go to great lengths, including lying, including basically misinforming people of who they truly are to get to that level. So I don't know if you've come across that with anybody at all, or in your personal life, or how you would separate the two if you had somebody you were coaching in regards to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we all have that, and it's a lot of that stems from when we're growing up. Our expectations and our family. Maybe they have performance issues when, their parents were always like, hey, you need you to perform, like at your best, do your best, no matter what. Like myself, like I was raised, like my father always taught me, work. You always need to be working, never working smarter, just working harder. And I realized that as like you, way up into my 30s, man. Like working harder. Do you know what working harder got me? More work. It got me more freaking work.
That's right.
Because they're like, you, Rex, you're a workhorse. What do you do to a workhorse? You put more fucking work, more weight in the bucket. Go, here you go. Take some more. And what would I do? Guess what I did? I took it and I did more. Why? Because I was all performance based. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, I'm being rewarded for the amount of work. So I will do more. I will get rewarded more. But man, that shit gets tiring, man. Just having to perform all the time. This may be, look, everyone's a little different, but it could be very similar to what other people are feeling as well. Like they're getting rewarded for working harder, not smarter. So they're going to have to, this is just behavior. I give you a gift for doing this. You're going to keep doing that. And then it just keeps repeating over and over again. So, but, especially at work, that's a tough one. I had to leave like a really great job that I had because of that. I had to, and I didn't want to, because it was a great mission, it was a great team, but man, they were not rewarding me with what I needed to be rewarded, and that was unfortunate. But you know what? We have to start creating our red lines. We have to start saying, hey, you're not going to pay me what I need to be paid. Not just based off of like I'm putting in the extra hours, but I'm coming up with all these different programs. I'm doing your job basically. Like you're doing your boss's job. You need to get paid the boss's salary. That's just that. And if they don't want to promote you or give you a bone, anything, they don't want to give you anything. It's time to go. It's time to walk. But this is where most people, they screw up. They come up to the negotiating table. They're like, oh. And then, but they don't have the balls to be like, all right, I'm out of here then. They're just like, well, okay, I guess I'll stay. So look, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready to do the thing, man. So you got to be ready to walk. if they don't give you what you deserve. So this is the performance thing. But if anyways, back to your question.
You're somewhat answering it.
I think most people, we are creatures of behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I do a thing, you reward me with that, I'm going to do more of that. And for us, it depends on the individual. What are they being, rewarded for that behavior? And if it's performance, it could be anything. It's in our relationships too. We're the same way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of unhappy relationships out there, but they still continue to stay in those unhappy relationships because they're getting rewarded something. I don't know what it is. Maybe most men in those relationships are, right? It's sex transactional. I buy you this. Okay, I get that. That's not good.
See, and I don't understand that because I've never been that way. If I want it, I'll just go buy it myself.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, well,
and I'm low maintenance. You don't need to buy me, wine me, dine me, like that whole thing. Like you should just buy me dinner first. No, we've had several conversations about this. The whole feminism conversations happened in our household. We've had conversations about the generation of the 20 and 30-year-olds now and their mindset. They're more about, especially females. What can you do for me? You're going to buy me dinner? Are you paying for everything? And then what can you give me? There's no structure there of having a bond with somebody that's meaningful and having intellectual conversation that you can hold with somebody and actually having a relationship. I don't even think these kids nowadays know what love is. I really don't think. I think they think love is things, materialistic things, and sex. And
just because of the instant gratification of
they like
social
they
media
do.
And everything is now.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask. What about Rob? What is love to you, Rob?
So anyways,
you see, sometimes we don't even know what the fuck love is, even now as adults.
I've been married for 20 years. I love my wife. Is our relationship the same now as it was when we first were dating? Hell no. Back then it was new, it was fun, it was hot and heavy. And once you get married, especially for a certain amount of time, and if you have a kid, you just kind of settle into a rut.
Mm-hmm.
Love is, it's just to me, it's a feeling. You just know when you love that person. I love my daughter. She could be a complete asshole. She's 7 years old, and trust me, she's just like me. She could be the biggest douchebag in the world sometimes. She's got my smart ass mouth. But regardless, I still love her, not just because she is part of me, half of me is her. But it's just, I love that kid so much. I just want to fucking squeeze her all the time. I want to shove her in my mouth and just keep her in my belly and carry around her all day. I love my kid, right?
But how would you? So
see, this is
I don't know. This is exactly it.
How do you quantify it?
It's very difficult for the human mind to try and make a feeling into a word because it's a feeling, right? But I like to describe love as time. Because time it travels across the entire universe, the entire place, and it travels through all things. Especially with love, love is time. Love is the amount of time you're willing to put to a person, for a person, with a person. Okay, and if you take the opposite of that, then right, that's not love, right? What have you done, Rob, for your wife? Like time wise, you've spent a lot of time for her, with her, and supporting her. Your child is the same way. That's how you can kind of describe your child. Yes, it's a part of you. Part of you is intrinsically just wanting to just love that kid, but also, as in the physical realm that we're all living in, it's time. You spend a lot of time with your children, or you can describe love as time. I put all of my time and effort. This is why women can kind of understand this more, because they're I do all these things at the house for you, with you, to support you, because they're putting in a lot of time. And a lot of men, they're don't understand that, because most men and I would just say in our generation, we're all about the same age, I think.
Yeah.
We are in that generation where the man worked and the woman, was taking care of the family. That was most of us. So the man doesn't understand time is love because the man was at work. Right, so the man's I was at work all day. I was fucking working all day, and I got to come home to this. And it's but
you guys, and yeah,
I never understood that. Look, my time here is equals your time here, but we can go into this. This could be a huge.
No, I mean, I like where
we are. I've already decided we are bringing you back for more stuff. I mean, we could go on forever, but that's a part of I used to do physical fitness training and nutritional coaching, and then life coaching on the side. So me and you could talk for hours on certain subjects. For me, I can say I would have totally agree with you that, sorry, something just popped up on my computer. I would say for me, I have to agree with you when you say that love is time. It is. And interestingly enough, we have this card game called the 5 Love Languages. And it's been a huge eye opener because I really learned more about myself. I've already read the book, But to play the game with your spouse, I would highly advise, if you don't have it, to play it with your spouse, because you'll learn things that you didn't realize. It's a great card game to show you what your love languages are between each other, that you guys both are the same way, and then how you guys are different based on questions and acts that it has you do in there. But I learned I am a huge acts of service love language person. I love doing things for people, especially people I love. I will literally do anything for somebody that I love to show my appreciation and affection and adoration for them and respect. But I've realized I'm all 5 love languages in my own mysterious way. I did not ever realize that. And I'm with somebody that is 2 out of 5. So there's sometimes I'm like, but I do this, so why don't you do it? And so it's been really eye-opening to me that we both have our own ways. And I think that's the biggest challenge in relationships, is really honing in on what both of you bring to the relationship in your own ways, but what you both bring together as a cohesive unit to form a bond that is part of that love that keeps the relationship going through whatever trials and tribulations you guys experience. If there's actual love there, it doesn't matter what you go through, it will all work out in the end. And it should work. And like you said, Rex, you've been married twice. I have too. You learn from all of that. You learn experiences and you take it on to the next, and hopefully everything's way better. But like Rob said, relationships evolve over time. That's people change, things change, we age. I was telling somebody the other day, I've went 7 years in retail and have never gotten hurt other than a fractured foot, but I've never felt like pain. Like just every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm sore. Until a couple weeks ago when I sprained my lumbar, and I can't get out of the rut with low back pain since. So now I'm like, I'm in my 40s. Awesome. So I think as as we age and we grow and change as our own individuals, I think the biggest thing my grandmother ever told me was, as you get older, so pardon my French, my grandma said this. She goes, as you get older, you will give less of a flying fuck what anybody else thinks. She goes, you won't care about their opinions on how you dress. You won't care about what they're saying about you. You won't care. You won't give a shit about anything. She goes, you will learn more about yourself, and you will learn to appreciate life a lot more and just be you. And she goes, and it might be in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. I think I'm slowly already starting to get there, because I used to care. I'm one of those, and I'm a self-admitted people pleaser, recovering people pleaser, but I used to care way too much about what everybody thought about me all the time. And it got exhausting. I was in performance mode all the time, trying to make all of these people happy. And I just got to this point in my mid-30s. I'm like, I really don't care. With all the stuff that I've been through in my life, if everybody knew what I've been through in my life, which now anybody that's watched this podcast knows 99% of what's happened in my life, I can tell you the average human being probably wouldn't have dealt with some of my situations the way I did. They might have dealt with them better or worse, but we all come to a certain point in our life where we realize life is too damn short to be worrying about what everybody else thinks about us. Just be you. That's what I'm constantly telling people, just be you. And the people that respect you and like you and want to be around you will follow your lead, either as you being their leader or motivator, or someone's being inspirational. Like I said before, Rex, I've watched your stuff, and there's times where you're funny and you're inspirational, you're motivational, but I always pick up some kind of nugget off everything of yours that I watch. So I think I reshared in my stories your tortilla video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was explaining that story to another. I was like, I haven't really even told that story. That happened like a couple of years ago, and I just had told that story to another coach colleague friend of mine. And man, I was much more passionate when I said it. I didn't want to have to come off that harsh in the story, because you got to be like 1 minute, right? You got to get people's attention. But man, that story really. I just need to reshare that story, because it really pisses me off, man. Especially for my own people. My own people are just stuck. They're stuck in the shadows. And I'm like, why are you stuck in the shadows? And it's because of little things like that. They don't want to fucking move forward. I'm like, why are you in your own way? Why? Are you afraid of money? Do you hate money? Do you hate it? Does it make you feel something to just like tell people, you don't have to tip? Please don't tip me. Like, what? You're telling me not to tip you. What is your problem? Why? I had to sit her down and shake her. Like, hey, you need to at least not say anything. Give that individual the option to tip or not tip. By you telling me to skip that page, to go to the next thing and not tip you, you're telling me not to tip you. So now I'm not going to tip you. You just took that money and you just threw it away. You're robbing yourself of thousands of dollars a year. That really pissed me off. The second part of that story, I went back. She did it again. And I was like, it's me, right? I said, do you remember?
Gosh.
Do you remember me? Do you remember my face? She's like, yes. And I'm like, why did you do this again? You could have at least pretended and like at least did it for me. You could have at least pretended and just been like, okay, hey Rex, I want to tip you. She did it again. So the third time she did it again. I'm like, fuck you. Fine. You go live your life, boo. You go do you.
3 times she did it?
Go. Yeah. That was just with me. The person who was telling her she needs to change and start like stop telling people to skip the page where
she needs a new line of work then, I guess.
Yeah,
she is. She's not. Yeah, she's gonna be doing tortillas her whole fucking life, dude.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Were they good tortillas at least?
Oh, they're delicious. They're the best tortillas I've ever had.
I can keep her around for that then. So that's
well,
our problem.
Well, Rex, if someone listening feels disconnected from who they are, what's the first non-negotiable step that you would offer as advice?
Man, a journey. You can explore yourself. You can really explore who you are. It doesn't have to be some huge like event in your life, right? For me, it was an event. It was a huge string of events. Okay. I had a massive heart attack, right? Almost died. I lost my best friend. I went through a divorce. I lost my house. Estranged from my child. And this was like rock bottom for me, man. I was like,
was this all within like the same kind of?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like with same year, I would even say the same, maybe like 3 months. And I lost my grandmother. Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh my
God. Jesus.
I lost all these things at once, and I'm like,
you poor bastard.
Excuse me. So I didn't. Hold on. Let me rephrase. I didn't lose my ex. I left my ex because losing would say that I was the one who initiated, because all this stuff happened, and my best friend was my dog. Just so you know, so we're clear. which is more important to me than most humans. Okay, he was my buddy, dude.
Agree.
He was my buddy, dude. He'd been through all of life through me, man. I love that guy. I love that little guy. He was a German Shepherd, and I lost him, and I didn't understand at that time, and then it came to me. It was like an epiphany. He died because he was giving me permission to leave that relationship, because we both got him at the same time, and we raised him. And I think that he was the thing that was really keeping the glue, right? You know how some things, like for most other people, it's the kids, like, oh, I don't want to divorce the kids.
Gonna say that. Yeah.
The fucking kids. Okay, so that was the same. Like, he was the kid in the relationship, and he went away. He died. So now it's like, why the fuck am I here now? Like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't have to do this. And it wasn't just like, all right, see ya. It was like, hey, we need to change. These things need to change. I almost died. I'm not. All these things are stressing me out. I can't do this anymore. And that's when I said, okay, you're not going to change. I'm out. See ya. Deuces. And you don't have to go through all those things to self-exploration, right? To do some self-exploration on yourself. You can really start just asking yourself questions. You start asking yourself fucking simple questions, right? Like,
well, what questions should people be? What questions should people be asking themselves, but they're avoiding most of the time?
So we need to start first, like, mastering ourselves, right? We got to take that pyramid, right? The mental health, physical health, spiritual health. I would start there. I would start with your personal health. Like, first of all, mental health. Where are you? Wise? What's stressing you out? Why is it stressing you out? Sometimes a lot of the stress that we have in our life, it comes from us. We're doing it. And I don't mean we are the ones activating or doing it, but we are in charge of us. Okay. We are in charge of us. I don't want to hear anybody fucking tell me, I'm a circumstance. No, fuck your circumstances. Okay. Some of us are not given all the best cards either, but we still made something out of our lives. And so don't tell me that it's my life. No, it's your choice. You have a choice. You can either save up. You can, stress, you go through all that horrible shit in your life and save up. Don't go out. You don't have to go out. You don't have to drink. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to have all these bad habits. You don't have to have all these things that you're spending all this money on. You can save your money. You can start making good choices. You can start doing all these things to help your own life. So I would start off first with your mental health. What's stressing you out? If this is stressing you out, why is it stressing you out? Follow that rabbit hole. Ask yourself the questions, right? This is the real quick thing. So like with smoking, I stopped smoking, but I had to ask myself, Rex, why are you smoking? Why are you smoking? Why? Once you start asking yourself these questions, you'll find out. Okay, so there's two addictions there. There's a mental addiction, and then there's a physical addiction. I can at least ask the question, why are you still smoking? Well, it's stressing me out. Why are you stressed out? Oh, because my ex is stressing me out. Plus my work is stressing me out. Plus my whatever. Okay, so let's start dealing with these things, right, in your life. Now you have just a physical problem. Now let's start replacing that with a behavioral change. The smoking every morning, correct? Because smokers, they did one thing. They did it at the same time, right? For when they woke up, for breakfast, whatever, after coffee, on the ride home. I know all this shit. I smoked for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
Right. So you just replace that instinct to want to do that with a different thing. After a while, your body is going to learn. It's a mind thing, man. You have to really rewire your mind, and you have the capacity. You can change. You can change. Mm-hmm. And so you got to ask yourself, first of all, what do you want to change? This is the biggest question. What do you want? That's what I would ask any of my clients. What do you want? Yeah. And then when they say, then I would say, why do you want that? Because that's when you start talking about, what is the reason? Do you want this because they have it? Do you want this because this person does it? Do you know what I mean? We have to find out why we want that thing, because it's funny. I can still hear him.
I can still hear you, Rob.
We couldn't see you, but we can hear you coming or sneezing.
It's okay though. Poor guy, he's been sick for a while. Yeah, I mean, to pick off of that, we had a former alcoholic, severe alcoholic, on the show that's recovering and been sober almost a year. And we're probably gonna have him back on the show after he's hit his year sober mark. But he said the same thing. When we asked him, like, why were you drinking? I don't know. I was just doing it. There's nothing else to do. I was bored. Right. I didn't, I was a partier since high school. And then he found the love of working out. And so now he's replaced drinking with working out. And anytime he feels like he has a urge to pick up a drink, he works out and he eats healthy, and he's totally changed his life. And I've actually found there's quite a few people on my social media that are becoming sober. They're choosing the sober life, whether it be from drugs or alcohol, or they're just choosing better for themselves. So I guess my next question for you is, throughout this whole conversation tonight, what would you want somebody to take from the entire conversation we've had to help for the betterment of their life? If you can get them like a little nugget of information to take away from you.
So I would first just let people just try and understand yourself. And remember, your job is not who you are. Okay. Your relationship, your husband, your wife, it's not who you are. Okay. Your kids are not who you are. These are all things that we all identify with. They're like, this is my identity. And then when you lose them all, now you feel lost. Mm-hmm. And I've learned this not only in my own experience, but in other individuals, other clients that I talk to. They lose these things. And I'm like, well, let's start working on your identity. Your identity is how you showed up. Okay. So take, for instance, your relationship. You are not a wife. That's not who you are. It's the role that you're playing. Mm-hmm. How did you show up as a wife? That's who you are, right? Because just being a wife or just being the title husband doesn't mean I'm a great fucking person. I'm a husband. No, you could be a horrible husband. You could be doing that role bad. That's mm-hmm. how you showed up. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the role is not who you are. The role isn't who you are. Remember that. Your job isn't who you are. Find out who you are. Ask yourself the questions. Well, how are you showing up to your job? Are you disciplined? Are you motivated? Are you supporting? That's who you are. That's your identity. So connect with those and find out where you're not showing up. And maybe you can start working on that, because you got to find out who you are. And the cool thing is about your identity is you can be what you're not. Okay. And identity isn't something that you are, you're not. It's something that you can change. So if you're the person that, let's just say, I'm not a good husband. Okay. So where are you not showing up? Find out where you're not showing up, and you can start changing that. You can start being a good husband by showing up for this person, understanding what their needs are, and showing up that way. So mm-hmm. Yes, you have the opportunity to change it. You're not just who you are. You can change.
I love that. Because again, with what I can say about myself is I've learned the very hard way that I used to be bonded to somebody, and I was all about them all the time. And I lived, breathed, eat, died them. Like, it was all them, and they were on a freaking pedestal. And in the midst of that, I lost myself along the way, because I started doing my son's dad. Okay. And this isn't a big secret. He's a hunter, fisherman. My son is identical to him. I became the woman that hunts and the woman that fishes, which I'd never experienced before, to make him happy, to do what he wanted to do, to chameleonize myself into him loving me more, or maybe he'll accept me more, maybe he'll love me more, maybe he'll do more for me and show up for me the way I need him to. And I learned that is not the case. I lost myself and my own identity in the midst of that. The one thing I can say about all the things I've learned from all of my relationships, including the one I'm in now, I can tell you that the person I showed up as day one is still me. I go above and beyond. I'm very loving. I'm very caring. I'm very, almost to a fault. And my boyfriend would say the same thing, almost to a fault. I go above and beyond. My one thing that I am trying to work on still as an aging woman is the insecurities we have as we age mm-hmm. and as relationships evolve. So I do still have some insecurities. I think mid 40 is that perfect number for women, where you see these young girls that they have nice bodies, or they're physically fit, or they can move around and they're agile and they can do things you can't do. And then you see the older women that you see that you're not far off the beaten path from aging and stuff sagging or things changing or getting gray hairs. So you're kind of in the midst of the both of them. So it can cause some insecurities for you in your relationship and as a person. But I can say for me, hi, Linda. I can say for me, though, that there's the constants that have remained from beginning to end that I learned the very hard way through previous relationships that have not changed about me. And that is my identity. It is who I am and what I bring to a relationship. And I haven't catapulted away from that at all. Obviously, in relationships, everything's challenging because you're always learning. I am a very, very big fan of Dr. Jordan Peterson. And he says that we all work a job. But at the end of the day, your job and your finances and your housing and your kids, it can all be pulled away from you. But the person that you're with is your constant that could always be there if you put the work in. So not only are we going to a job that we're getting paid at, that we have to work at, you still have to come home and put work in as well. As that's what you were saying too, like where, you go to work and you put your time in and you do your thing and you come home and it's not just like your work is done. You still have to put work in towards your relationship and make the effort to know what the needs are of your spouse, or it's never going to work with anybody. You can't put all your eggs in one basket and expect something else to work as well. That when you're putting in half the amount of energy in something else. So I love that. The advice that you just gave is spot on. I think that will resonate with a lot of listeners, and that's a very good nugget to take away. So I appreciate all of your info that you've given us tonight and everything. I'm definitely going to start MF coaching. I did want to ask you, I think on your page, it lists that it's a way to help veterans. Is that correct?
Yes.
Coaching veterans, but I've watched your stuff. That can, like, anybody can watch that.
So yeah, if you go to my website, it's badcoachrex.com. You can connect with me as a coach, or you can go through the MFC for, Mission Focused Coaching for Veterans. That's the nonprofit route through veterans. Okay. So I coach all types of people.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I was going to say some of your stuff on there, like I've related to, and I'm like, I'm not a veteran, but I relate to it. I think everything that everyone says in some way or shape or form, we can relate to. We've had a lot of veterans on the show, and there's things that they say that they bring back from when they were actively serving our country or when they fought war that you can relate to in some way, shape, or form as far as life advice goes afterwards. But Rex, we have this fun little game we play at the end of every episode now because everyone seems to love it. So it's rapid fire. You just have to answer how the answer comes, whatever comes to your mind first. So,
all right. Is it a yes or no?
You just answer it. Just answer it. It's rapid fire. Okay. So coffee or energy drinks?
Energy drinks.
Early alarm or 5 more minutes?
Early alarm. Let's get it over with.
Ooh.
Get it over with.
Gym playlist or silence?
Playlist.
Okay. Texas heat or freezing cold?
Texas heat. I can.
I hope you were saying that. I want to move to Texas,
dude. I
want to move out of this cold weather so bad. It sucks.
You can't get away from the cold, man. It's just everywhere. It's in your bones. At least there's air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm tired of getting up and working in like 12-degree weather at 3 a.m. It's really not fun. Tactical gear or business casual?
Tactical gear for sure.
I knew you were gonna say that. Whiteboard or notebook?
Notebook.
Phone calls or just text me?
Text.
I would have. Yeah, I think I picture you.
I mean, I don't mind phone calls, but people just. Yeah. I think they get their. All right, fuck it. Next one. This isn't rapid fire. If I'm gonna just make it like
planning everything or controlled chaos.
Wait, say it again.
Planning everything or controlled chaos.
Oh, I got a plan. I'm a planner.
Podcast at 1 times or 2 times speed?
2 times.
All right, the last one: social media or disappearing for a week?
Fuck social media. I like to use it, man. I like to just I like both, but if I need social media. It helps to get the word out. It helps to help people, helps to connect and support people. This is just where we are. I would love to connect with people in a human form, face to face, person to person, but that's just not where we're going. So I'm trying to just adapt and overcome. And I need social media.
Yeah. I just have a couple like extra, I guess, playful questions. Just because I'm interested and curious. What's one thing people assume about you that's completely wrong? What just happened to our screen? Wow.
My bad.
It's like we got really little. We're minions.
I remember my first day too. I'm just kidding. Okay, so
loser.
My bad.
Oh my god, people assume that I'm an asshole. They just do, and it's just because I'm just upfront, real, and transparent. That is the norm, and
I would explain you as raw. You're raw and unfiltered. That's okay. I think that's what people are liking, actually. So just be you, because I think people are starting to really like the raw and filtered version of people instead of like
most people are full of shit.
Yeah. Instead of the fake nonchalant bullshit.
We've been dealing with the soft baby hands for too long. It's time to just get back to being, transparent about things. Like, I don't like it. I don't want to. Setting barriers, setting those, those red lines. Like, I can't do that. Learning and being comfortable with saying no and speaking up when it's a yes.
Yeah. I mean, what's more exhausting to you, excuses or ego?
Oh, fuck. Both of those are no bueno. Which one is worse?
I would have to say ego.
Is this a rapid fire or give me a second?
No, this is just a question.
I would say that excuses for I'm used to the ego thing and I can sense that and I can work around that. The excuses thing is more like there's no way around it because it's always going to be like a stop, right? Like I can work around ego. I can't work around excuses. That's my pet peeve.
Yeah.
I hate people with excuses. Stop, man. Just do it.
Yeah. What's your so in line with that, what's your biggest pet peeve in entrepreneurs these days?
Oh, with entrepreneurs, I think everyone is just, excuse me, not everyone. Most people are just impatient and they don't realize that it takes time. Things take so much time. You mentioned Dr. Jordan Peterson. Okay. Mm-hmm. That dude is a late bloomer, but he has had videos out since he was a younger man. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't really make it until now where he or at least like a couple years ago. Okay. He has been doing this a long time before he actually started like getting out there. So relax. If people like you, it's going to take some time for your shit to replicate and go throughout the system. And then finally timing also has to be a part of it, right? Like you just said, Rob, if people are ready to hear, right, ready to be transparent, maybe they weren't last year. Maybe next year they're like, dude, I love this guy because he's so transparent. But last year I was like, dude, I'm baby hands. So I can't take it. Then things have to align. Once they align, then, you can blow up.
On that note, I have a few more rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, okay. Extended version.
Best MRE flavor, or are they all just trash?
Oh gosh, they're all trash. I'd rather just not eat.
Right? Yeah, I've had them too, and they're not.
At least back in that time, in that time I was still smoking, so I'd rather just smoke through
it. Motivation or discipline?
Discipline gets you through it. Motivation is going to fade, but if you are disciplined, it's going to get you through any like spots where you're like, oh fuck, I'm not motivated, I'm not inspired. You're like, well, guess what? You trained yourself, you trained your behavior, you just continue doing it because it's just who you are now.
Yeah. What's harder, silence or accountability?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yes.
I think it's silence. Yeah. Accountability. It's fine. I always show up. I always show up to things. I hate when people call out, people cancel. I'm just like, I had this one person cancel on a podcast. And look, everyone is on their own path. Okay. I'm a true believer of this, but you scheduled something, you should show up. And, she had this excuse where I was in the ER yesterday. I was like, guess what? So was I. I was in the ER also the day before and I still showed up ready to rock and roll. I still didn't feel well, but I still showed up. And at least you could have at least called and texted me and said, hey, I was in the studio just like you all are here right now waiting. Time came by, 5 minutes passed. I'm like, yo, where are you at? Oh, by the way, I was in the ER, so you can't show up. I'm like, dude, enough with the excuses.
Yeah.
It's time to just, let's go. Yeah. Either you're in or you're out. Accountability.
Okay.
Take some accountability.
If you could ban one buzzword forever, what would it be?
Oh, hashtag live your own fucking life. Stop it. It's too many. And it's the only reason is because too many people are saying it and not doing it. Action. Yeah. We need action. Live your life. Go do your life. You don't have to post it. Do it.
Yep, for sure. Well, Rex, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we are definitely going to have you on again.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. We're booked till mid-March, but I would like to have you back on this summer after we get through several of these guests and maybe come up with an episode we can talk about one subject or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Let's talk about liars.
This was fun. Yeah, let's talk about liars. I really have a distaste for liars, man. I seriously do. And I'm learning that my fan base on Facebook or my followers, there's a lot of them that have a huge distaste for liars as well. So, and it's becoming embrace the suck. I love that. But I'm learning that we are living in a society that is fake as F.
Just be honest, we're fucked. Like, if this is the future of America, what we see on TikTok and shit, right? Like, we're all screwed, right? Jesus,
I try not to do
come
that.
get me now because I am done with this world.
Jesus, take the wheel.
We have to connect with people. We have to connect with like-minded people. This is a tribe right here. People that are supporting each other. We're on the same path. We're heading the same way. It's like Linda. Linda's on there. She's a part of my tribe. She knows it. She's like, I'm there for her. She's there for me. That is who you need. And it has to be a very select few people. It can't just be everybody, right? Like everyone on my Facebook list, they're not my best friends. They're not in my tribe. But they could be. But I'm pretty sure most of them wouldn't show up that way, the way I need them to, right?
My family doesn't show up. Like, sometimes family is the worst. Like, nobody likes my post. Nobody checks out my podcast or my YouTube channel. Like, they couldn't give a flying fuck about any extracurricular activity that I do. And I don't know what, I can't explain it, but I've kind of found that strangers that I've met online halfway across the world support me more than my own family does sometimes. So I don't know what that says about me or them, but I don't know why I said that.
It's just not, they're just not your fans.
Apparently.
No, they've had enough of you. I get it, dude. I get it. My parents,
enough of me too, so
my parents didn't follow anything that I ever did for years. And now my dad is like my biggest fan. He likes everything, cool. Sees everything. I'm like, oh, like, thanks, Dad. It's like, it's a shout out to Dad. Thanks, Dad. And I'm proud of it, man. I'm not hiding it.
Guys, check out Bad Coach Rex.
Yeah.
Badcoachrex.com. Look at that sexy man right there. We asked you about identity earlier. That is your podcast. If you just want to give us a little snippet about what that show entails, because you're all about identity tonight. So
so this is a mini series that I just started this year, 2026, and I think that we all need to reel it in, right? We have got so many influences out there, and it's not just out there in the weeds, like in social media. It's like out there in your life, right? In your relationships, right? In your with your spouse, even with your kids, even with your closest friends. This is your influence, right? Wait, which hat? His or mine? Probably
That's a legitimate question.
I didn't get the memo. I'm not wearing a hat.
I get
Sorry,
guys. For this hat.
Yeah, so we've got so many influences out there. It's time to start reeling it in so we can start being who we are. And a part of who we are first, before we show up, is our identity. So I put together a mini series, like 8. There was 8 episodes. There was 7, and now there's 8. And there's only going to be an 8th one because the cowboy. Oh, she sees my cowboy hat back there. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, I see it right there.
Oh, and that one too. There it is. That's a great pick. Really is. Yeah, dude. We have to work on our identities first, right? That's the very first thing. So I put out a series, 7 episodes. I added an 8th one for one specific individual, sparked it, and it's about religion. I'm going to get into it, and it's, people are going to hate me. I don't care. This is the truth, right? It's how we show up. Okay, we have to start dissecting who we are and stop giving excuses about, it's all about this. No, it's not about that. It's how you're showing up for that. Let's dig deep, and that's what I do. I do a deep dive into identity. So check it out on Bad Coach Rex. Just Google it. It'll show up everywhere.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. We absolutely appreciate you being here. Could talk to you all night long. And I've learned a lot just from your insight tonight. So I thank you for that.
Thank you,
especially when it comes to relationships and whatnot.
And I appreciate you. Seriously, I do appreciate you responding to my random, hey, I have a podcast. Would you like to be on it?
She gets so surprised when people are like, yeah, I'll do your show. She's like, I'm nobody. Nobody knows who I am.
Oh, yes, you are.
I do get like, I guess it's my humbled way of saying, like, I'm trying to do something to make a difference. And if I make a difference in one person's life, then I'm satisfied. Or if I reach out to one person through one episode, I don't care if nobody else listens, but if that one person listening takes something from it, then I'm happy. It's always astounding to me when I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, look how many more views I have than last night when I went to bed.
I still get amazed. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years on different podcasts and different YouTube channels and all that. Like, I'm still amazed that one person listens to my show, or one person watched my gaming channel, or somebody in Kazakhstan knows my fucking name. Like, it blows my mind, right? Like, it's cool to me. Like, growing up as an 80s kid, like, we didn't have this shit back then. Like, I could never imagine I'd be sitting here talking to you 3, or on my bowling show, talking to guys I idolized on TV on ABC every Saturday morning, Saturday afternoons. Like, it still blows my mind, like, what we're capable of right now. So I don't take any of this for granted, Amanda. And people know that you're trying to make a difference. So it doesn't matter who you are, if you have any name value or anything, you will. And you do now. You do. You've made a difference. You've gotten messages from people about, it's like for having me on your show. I can't believe you enabled me to go out and do this again. Like, it's just that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, like Amanda, like you just said, as long as I touch someone appropriately in a way where they can continue moving forward in their life. That's all. It's worth it. success is, that's what success looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks again for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And we'll definitely be in touch, and I'm going to continue to follow your bad coach Rex skills.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's great stuff. So
we'll talk to you.
We'll talk to you next time, and keep doing the good work. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Please reach out if you ever need anything.